what's going
on?
What is
up?
Welcome to the House of Nerds Advanced Review for Tales in Techni-Horror, Season number 1.
Yeah.
This is a collection of short horror stories from writer Kiyarn, Taghan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name, and artist Christian DiBari. And the colorist, Steve, do you got the colorist name handy?
Yep, it's Simon
Go. Beautiful.
And this is from Scout Comics, the publisher.
Scout Comics, yeah. So, Tales in Techni-Horror, Season 1, again, a short collection of horror stories. There's 5 stories, guys, in this. And this particular book drops this Wednesday, June the 30th.
Yep.
Wednesday, June the 30th. So, just here to share some quick thoughts on it for you guys. Steve, why don't you kick us off? Let us know what you thought about this anthology-style collection of horror stories.
Right. So, as Sergio, as you mentioned, there's at least 5 short stories. I feel like for the amount of pages in this book, I don't know if it was done well. Each short story, there's a lot that you could do with it, and I felt like maybe there wasn't enough pages to actually do enough for it. Like, it felt like as soon as I was getting into the story, or I wanted to know more, it was, oh, now we're on to the next one. So I wish there was maybe more pages per story. Maybe instead of 5 short stories, it was something like 3. Give the extra pages to each of the stories to really flesh it out. I think that was the big problem I had with it. Was it never really gave me a chance to care about the characters, care about the plot or anything. It really felt like an action flick, and like a short action flick where you're just like, you're in it, you see horror happen, and then you're out of it, and then you're in something else.
Okay. Lauren, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on this collection of books?
Yeah, I see some of Steve's points. I mean, I would be happy if some of the stories were longer, and I think that's a good thing. And that at least we're not saying here going, there could have been a page less or something, or this wasn't going anywhere good. I think again, this is a season 1. It's an anthology. They are going to be quicker. And for me, even though, there were times where I wish the stories went on longer, I liked that even though one would end just as I was getting so hyped for it, it kept me hyped enough for the next story. And every story kind of did that. It led into it. And for the purpose of a season 1 out of how many, I don't know, and an anthology, I think that's exactly what it's supposed to do. For me, I like, anthologies aren't always great, to me at least, when I feel completely satisfied to anything. I'm like, that was great, and I'm done. I want to keep reading it. Otherwise, I'm like, why am I picking up an anthology? So for me, where Steve sees that as a con, and I totally get that. For me, it just kept me reading, and I love the arts. I'm gonna pull a Sergio here and talk about the arts because it is glorious, and I'm not even that. The neon, the bright colors, and all that aren't my always forte. They're not my favorite style, but oh my God, does it lend itself well in this line. And I'm not even a big fan of the old horror movies, in the 80s and 70s, like a lot of our people are horror fans,
Right.
I'm not the biggest horror person movie wise, but these felt like mini horror films that even I would watch as somebody who I don't do jump scares. I do creepy and stuff. I don't do jump scares. But I loved it, man. And the art, that really sold it for me. The art was fantastic.
And you hit the nail on the head there, Lauren. Now, this is the book itself, the style, the design. It's after, those 70s grindhouse films.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you're familiar with that, it was a series of quick, short horror stories, right? So very much in that same vein, Tales in Techni-Horror. And I absolutely love this, guys. I dig it. I dig the format, the style. Again, 5 stories, each about maybe 4 to 6 pages in length. Quick bursts, much like the films of the 70s grindhouse style.
It was like an adrenaline shot of a grindhouse 80s flick each story, and I think that's why I liked it. For me, I didn't need the complete story necessarily. I just wanted that quick adrenaline shot. So this gives it to you multiple times. If you're a horror fan, especially of the old stuff, you gotta check this out because you're gonna be high on life after it.
And for me, you know, the writer again, Kiyarn Taghan. So short bursts, but he does it in a way, guys, that as much as it wants you wanting more, it's also they're complete stories, man. For me, it just oh man, I'm drawing a blank here. What I'm trying to say, it works well. The pacing is good. The first one starts off you're under deep, like in the depths of the ocean. Very atmospheric vibe. Okay, the way the story is written, the way the art is done, you get the sense of the darkness, the coldness of these ocean depths. So just great stuff from story to story. There's,
you know what it felt like?
It
kind of felt like you know when you're watching like a Monster of the Week show, like early Supernatural or Fringe or something like that, or X-Files, right? And you've got the cold open to introduce like either the villain in that episode or like, you know, you've got those side characters, those background characters, something happens to them, and then like cute title, and then now this is what the characters are focusing on. And these short stories are like those cold opens for those episodes.
Well, and I really like this anthology too because it gives you a different kind of horror story in each story. You know, it's a different perspective. So no matter what kind of horror you like, at least one of these stories, if not more, will give you something that you like because again, it's so many different options of horror. Horror isn't just one genre. That's kind of what I hate about it as a genre. People go, oh, well, this is horror, as if that explains what actually is happening in it. It doesn't. There's so many different types of horror.
Yes. So you've got Roots of Evil, which is like an eco-horror style of story. You've got the first one, again, you're in the depths of the ocean, you know, desolate. Then you've got your sci-fi, you know, on a different planet, and you encounter some things there. And then you have more of, I believe, more like a supernatural type story. The last one.
It really does bend all these different genres.
And that last story has got a bit of like a Hellraiser feel to it. Well, I love that, man. All these different styles of horrors, all the same genre, but different styles. And so you're not one story is like anywhere near like the other. And it flows nicely, man.
Well, you know? And I think it helps the same writer and artist do all of it. So it's not an anthology where you have different writers and artists trying to coordinate and you kind of just throw those stories together after they all do their own individual stories. It's one artist, one writer, one colorist doing the entire anthology, which to me I think makes more of a difference because even if you have fantastic writers and artists, you know, all writing different stories, but again, no matter how fantastic they are, they're writing different stories. And so when you put them together, they're not going to mesh perfectly. But if one writer, one artist do it, they mesh a lot better just organically. And then if you have a great writer and artist on and colorist, then it meshes even better than that.
It flows fantastically together. There was another one I failed to mention. You're like in I think maybe the Louisiana swamps or the Florida swamps.
I really enjoyed that one actually.
Man, Steve, tell me yes or no, man. Every story I felt, you feel like you're in there. It's very atmospheric. Every one of these stories, man.
The best way I could describe it is it's a cold open for like a Monster of the Week show, and it's just a cold open each time.
And it's like you're saying in a movie theater at the beginning of the movie, you're not sure what's going on, and within the first 15 minutes, it's just setting it up. And then by the end of those 15 minutes, you're about to be on the edge of your seat. You're ready for things to start happening, and then the credits start, and you're just like, "Oh my god! Now I have to wait longer still."
And then now it does it again. Good. It does it again, and in all of these, like what you said, it's different ways. Like one's paranormal, one is in the ocean, one is in the like they're very different in terms of how they feel.
And again, can't say enough good things about the art. Big shout out to Christian DiBari, man, just nails the tone and the vibe. He helps to set that, you know, the whole mood for each one of these stories, guys. I'm personally, I'm very high on this book. If you're a fan of horror, highly recommend this, definitely. And then you get some bonus content at the end there, guys. The pinup gallery, showcasing Christian's artwork again. Definitely pick this one up, man. Scout, I'm loving what those guys are doing. I believe this is a Black Caravan title from Scout.
I think so. Could be wrong.
I believe
which means it is available digitally on their site. You can buy it from their store. It's generally, and also I like the fact that their digital prices, they feel like they're a little bit cheaper than the physical ones.
Oh,
yeah. So even if you may not be able to get it at your store, check the Scout Comics website because we've definitely read books from them before, and it's very easy to access, very easy to buy, and just be able to read them like on the go or wherever.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, Tales in Techni-Horror is out this week.
Beautiful.
It'll be Wednesday. So make sure if you haven't pre-ordered it, check out the Scout Comics website, or, you know, double check with your shop, see if they ordered a couple extra copies, you can snag one up. Because this is definitely worth it. If I'm honest, I wasn't sure if I'd like this or not when we got the advanced review, just because I, wasn't sure where it was going. And again, I'm a little iffy on anthologies personally. Man, this hit it out of the park. Absolutely got to pick it up.
That's what I'm saying, guys. You guys see it on your shelf, pick it up, man. Pick it up. You're not going to regret it. Dope vibes. Good book. Shout out to Scout for putting out another heater.
Yes. And thank you to them and the creators for giving us an advanced review copy so we could talk about it and showcase it, because you guys know here on our House Nerd Show, we really want to highlight indie creators and give them a platform.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to season 2. I got to say. Season 1's just not even out yet, and I'm already thinking, what other kind of crazy?
I know, and I'm wondering how long it'll take for the season 2 to come out. I want it soon because I feel like I'm still waiting on the edge of my seat. Like,
it's great. This is one of those books, you guys. It feels like you're in the cinema. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. Feels like you're in the cinema. Old grindhouse feel. Enjoy some popcorn while you're reading. Pick it up, man. Pick it up. Steve, any thoughts before we get out of here?
I would just say, you may like you said, you may find something that you dislike about it. Maybe you want it to be longer, but again, it does keep your attention, which I think is well. That being said, for more advanced reviews that we have or any other content that we will provide, you can find us on obviously YouTube, the House of Nerd Show. Sergio, where can they find us on some of the other platforms that we have?
On Twitter, our Twitter handle is House of Nerd Show. So House of Nerd Show. Check us out there. Let us know, and more importantly, in the comments here, guys, let us know what you think.
Yes, comment, because as you can tell, we all get giddy talking about this book, and we especially want to do these videos because we can't always talk on the live show forever. We have so much to put on our show, so comment so we can get back to you guys. And
which is your favorite story? Curious to hear.
Yeah. And, don't forget, make sure you're liking and subscribing and hit that bell, ring the bell for notifications so when we're getting our videos up there for you guys, because we're going to have a lot more content coming.
Short but sweet. That's our review, guys, for Tales in Techni-Horror Season 1. Go out and grab it. It's good stuff. We'll see you guys later.